Hi. Okay.
Do I look in the camera?
You
when
can
I'm
look in the
talking?
camera.
Okay.
Hey everybody, Cancer Contradiction. This is Cecilia Villalva.
There you go. Perfect.
I had to practice that before we started. So anyway, thank you for joining us again. And Cecilia is going to tell you her story, her cancer story today. And we just actually met a few minutes ago, an hour ago, and had a great conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a lot in common. But again, we met on a Facebook online support group, so I encourage you to get on those because they are awesome. So would you maybe start by telling us a little bit about you?
Yes. My name is, again, Cecilia Villalva, and she said it perfectly without any chopping or anything. She went the Spanish style. I'm going to be 42 years old in September, and unfortunately this is my second time with cancer. My first cancer was breast cancer. I was diagnosed in November of 2010 and went in remission in 2011 after I did double mastectomies, radiation, and back on Herceptin for a whole year. And I was fine then. Started having some back pain and hip pain that was alarming to me when it was not relieved with spinal injections. And I wanted to go see a rheumatologist, so I went to my oncologist to get a referral, and he sent me for a bone scan, and unfortunately that came back with metastatic cancer, meaning that my breast cancer was already spreading to my bones. It spread to my hips, my spine, my pelvic floor, my top of the skull, my right jaw, the clavicles, some areas in the clavicles, and my lower ribs, front and back. So that was like the worst news I could have ever gotten in one sitting with my doctor, not even thinking that it was cancer. Right. Nowhere in my mind did I ever think that would be my problem or ever having to go through that again. Mm-hmm. And I was expecting to hear, yeah, you got rheumatoid arthritis, we'll just send you to go get seen and do an injection and see what else I can do. But I was nowhere near that. That was not even in my diagnosis. And so getting diagnosed again was like a slap in my face. Mm-hmm. I felt like a failure. I felt that I did something wrong. I felt lost, angry, and I was shielded with so much emotion, like I just couldn't believe it. Yeah. I was in so many tears, Yeah. Unfortunately, when I got my news, I was by myself. I didn't expect that diagnosis, I was like, I'll be good. Yeah. And, my mom was not living here anymore. She was back in El Paso where we're from. And so me giving her the news over the phone was not what I wanted to do. Yeah. And, then having to go home and tell my girls, like they knew where I was going. They knew I wasn't feeling good. Yeah. So I was hoping when I did get home, they would forget all about it. Yeah. But my little one was like, how'd the doctor go? And I was like, I have to tell them. Yeah. I have to. It was a Wednesday that I got diagnosed. And my mom was like, I'll be there by Saturday. Wait for me and we'll tell the girls then. But I couldn't. They knew where I was. And when she asked me, I said, I have to tell my kids. I have to tell them. Yeah. So even that was devastating for me. Yeah. So I've heard, and I think it's good advice, even hearing what you're saying, is never go to a doctor's appointment alone. Yes, I've learned that the hard way. Like there's doctor's appointments where you can go alone. There's some that you just know you're going to pick up a pill or something. Yes. But when you're going to get information regarding results, I learned that the hard way. Always go with someone, bring someone, because it's overwhelming. Even though you think it's nothing, which is what happened to me, And I get told that, and I'm just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think I stayed in the parking lot maybe like 30 minutes just letting it sink in. Like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? I don't even want to go home.
Right.
I went back to work. After that, and I just sat at work, and I was like,
Yeah.
if I go home, I'm going to just cry, and they're going to get home, and they're going to know something's wrong. If I go to work, at least that'll keep me busy, but I couldn't even concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
I still worked my shift through, but
Yeah.
it was hard.
So after the overwhelm kind of subsides,
Yes.
what did you do? What were your first steps?
Well, I went home. After work, I went home.
Like in the first couple of weeks, did you call a doctor? Did you have a doctor already?
Oh yes,
or-
I had my oncologist.
And
still.
they told you?
Yes.
They directed?
Yes, I went that Wednesday for my results. And then he told me, come back Monday. He sent me for some other testing, some scans for my organs.
Mm-hmm.
Made sure there was no spread to my organs, because I only
Right.
had the bone scans.
Right.
And did a lot of blood work.
Mm-hmm.
Went back for those results, and he said, when you come Monday, we'll have those results.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan then was to start the Tycur pills and Lotrozole, and to do Zometa infusion. That would be
Okay.
my only infusion at the time. So come Monday, by the time Monday came, my mom was already here, my mom and my dad, my stepdad, my brother, my aunts from El Paso, and my aunts that lived here. They all went with us to my doctor appointment,
Okay.
which was good. I didn't
Yeah.
go alone this time.
Right.
They wanted to know, they had questions like, what happened,
Right.
what is
Right.
this?
Sure.
What is metastatic?
Yeah.
And because I was also going to get an infusion that day
Mhm.
to start my treatment.
Yeah.
So we did all of that, and my doctor was very good in explaining to them, what metastatic cancer is,
Right.
what it does, how it spreads, and what was the possibility of it spreading.
Okay.
And I did my first infusion. I was still overwhelmed. I still couldn't believe I was going through that
Mm-hmm.
a second time.
Yeah.
And the scarier part for me was no cure. It's
Yeah.
incurable.
Yeah.
All we can do is keep you comfortable and keep your cancer stalled,
Mhm.
with the treatment we're going to do to prolong it so you can have a longer quality of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was scary.
Yeah.
And it's still scary because I'm still doing that.
Yeah.
I'm still doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. And doctors, what they say, have so much power.
Absolutely.
Because my doctor said you have 6 months to a year to live,
Mhm.
and you just keep yourself comfortable.
Yes.
He didn't say this, but in so many words, he said, don't bother with chemo.
Yes.
Because it's not useful for you.
Yes.
And it's been more than a year now, and I had another doctor, because I fired him, who
Mhm.
said, when we get you into remission, we'll talk about blah, blah. And
Give you
just
hope.
her saying that was like, okay, and it
Yes,
changed
relief.
my mindset.
Yes.
So, yes, I know exactly what
Yes.
you were feeling.
They tell you at this point you could work or not work. At this
Mhm.
point,
Yeah.
just live your life like you want. It makes you think like this is it.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this is what I hear in hospice with
Mm-hmm.
like people who are already in their deathbed. Like whatever
Yeah.
you do, it does not matter, and that's how I felt. But I still felt that reassurance that I was going to be okay because, for one, my family support,
Mm-hmm.
and my trust in God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gets me day by day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So briefly, you had chemo. How was that for you, or how is that for you?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I first started, I started on oral pills,
Mhm.
and I had a reaction to both pills with a lot of vomiting, diarrhea, the weight loss, and I broke out in a really, really bad acne reaction in my
What
face.
was that? Do you
The
remember?
Tycur. It was from the Tycur.
Okay.
And he said it would happen, but we didn't think it would be that bad.
Okay.
I was literally, blown away with my scalp and then my neck and my face with all the acne that I broke out with. It looked
Okay.
like just like like polka dots, but they were
Yeah.
actually pimples
Yeah.
everywhere, everywhere. And so we discontinued that, and that's when we started the chemo, the IV chemo.
Whatever you're doing now, it's working, because look at you, how gorgeous you are.
Thank you.
What
And
are
believe
you
me,
on
I was traumatized with that.
Yeah,
I
of
was like, I've
course.
never had this as a teenager,
Yeah.
much less as an adult.
Yeah.
So I was
And it's so
devastated.
visible, you know, it's your skin.
Yes,
It's like,
and I could just feel everyone looking at me like, what is
Mhm.
wrong? I mean, everywhere you would touch my skin, I had a pimple, like little,
right.
they looked like a rash, but they had whiteheads. I mean,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. And then you
Um,
had radiation.
Yeah, that was my first time radiation. I have no option for radiation
Yeah.
this time,
Okay.
being that it's in the same spot, you know, and
Yeah.
so forth. But right now I'm doing Perjeta, Herceptin, and then Zometa for my bone pain.
Okay.
Yes.
And you said, again, briefly, we're keeping an eye on the time here, the radiation is what really knocked you out.
Yes. When I did radiation for the first time with my first diagnosis, I was supposed to have about 6 to 7 weeks radiation. I ended up doing 5. It really took a toll on my skin and on myself. I was tired. I was in this really horrible stage of fatigue where I was just tired of getting off the car, putting on my gown. I was like, do I have to do this again? It's only gonna take, like, I kid you not, it takes 90 seconds to get zapped. And it was just like, I would lay on the bed and I would just fall asleep. In that was like the best minute of my life, because I was able to get some sleep. But then there I was again, having to go home. And the more I went, the more tired I got. So the more I went, the more sleepy I was when I was done. And I wouldn't take no hour nap, which was my goal. I was taking 3-4 hour naps, and I would still be tired.
Yeah.
Then my skin started looking as if it was sunburned, and then it was really red, and it felt hot to the touch, and then it got really dark, like it burned. My skin burned. It looked horrible, and it was peeling, and just the first layer of skin that was coming off was just so much pain.
Yeah.
Even just water hitting it, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I don't think I could ever handle radiation again. And you know, when I did my first chemo, I used to say to myself, if I ever get cancer again, I'm not doing no chemo or no radiation. The only reason why I do it now is because it's prolonging my quality of life. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still here.
Yeah.
But I did say that, and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, I did say that I would never do chemo radiation again because of the effects that it has on you and on your body. And you know, the chemos I'm on now are actually just antibodies. They're not considered chemo treatments anymore because the one I did have gave me side effects too, so I just got discontinued off of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just on antibodies. So that's why my hair is growing back and my lashes are coming back. But if I still had that treatment, I would have nothing right now. No hair, no lashes, no anything.
Yeah.
And it's hard on your body. It's hard on your body.
Yeah.
The way you feel inside and outside,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
How has cancer changed you, or has it changed you?
It has. I used to think like life is just life, you know. Every day was like, everything's gonna be fine. I'm good. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll get it done this week, next month, during the year. That's my goal. But now, you know, like we were talking earlier, it's like I make every day count. If I can survive one day and make it to the next, I've done good. And, you know, I never wanted to think that way, but now I do, and I thank God for every day that I'm here because that's my strength. You know, besides that, my kids, my pillars, my family, you know, my support groups, my friends, my pink sisters like yourself, you know, that's my strength to get through every day. But to say that I can actually physically and mentally survive another day, I've done good. You know, regardless of the pain that we're in.
Yeah.
Our pain is silent. You know, we're in pain right now. I'm in pain right now sitting here. but I'm not going to be crying about it and be like, oh, I'm hurting, because it's not going to get me anywhere. I think I'm tired of crying. I just swallow it and embrace it. Just I'm in pain and I'm in pain. What can I do? Just take my pain pills and relax and do what I have to do, and then stop and just relax whatever's left of my day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine you would answer your family and your pillars for this, but what else brings you joy?
Speaking here with you, for example, you know exactly what we're going through, what I'm going through. And we were speaking of this earlier, that it's been a pleasure meeting her, because she has metastatic breast cancer like I do. And so we both know we're in pain, and we both know we're here, and we understand each other. If I'm hurting, you understand me. As to someone else, they'd be like, you're hurting, okay, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to go home, or do you want some pain pills, or what? No, with you it's different, and it's like, You're like, are you okay? We're walking too much, let me know. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet of her. Because she probably saw that I was short of breath. But you understand.
Yeah.
We understand each other without even telling each other anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is so powerful, isn't
Yes.
it? Knowing someone gets it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, that we get it.
It's incredible.
Yes.
I don't know, is there, I try to find people who seem to have a joy or a positive way about them on Facebook to ask to interview, and you were one of them.
Yes.
And so where does that come from? I mean, we've both shed tons of tears.
Yes.
It's not like we're like, ha ha, this
Yes.
is like ice cream and candy.
Yeah.
But joy is different than just like a syrupy smile.
Yes.
And you have a power that emanates from you.
Thank you. We spoke of this earlier too, and it makes me feel good to know that someone tells me, you inspire me. And I'm here wondering, how do I inspire you if I'm trying to look for inspiration myself? But I can see where that is coming from, because this person that's telling me this is barely starting where I used to be once. And I've already been through what she's about to go through, so I can see where I inspire her, and it makes me feel good that I can make a difference in someone's life, how they feel and how their perspective is about life and cancer. But I also am looking for inspiration myself, which I always do find, and now I can see how they're looking up to me, and I'm looking up to someone else, but I'm also looking up to God, and for me it's like, that's my inspiration. So I'm hoping that they're inspired by me and inspired by God also, because that's my ladder, that's my step.
Wow,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
So let's finish up. Is there
Yes.
anything that I didn't ask you, or that you would like to share with the viewers, or an encouragement, or last words, or something you wish you knew? Anything at all?
Encouragement. Yes, encouragement. Don't be afraid. And I know it's scary. It's the last thing you want to hear. Don't go alone like I did. Always have someone with you, even if it's one of your kids, just somebody. And if you're confused and scared, and I understand that sometimes you don't want to talk to your doctor, we have support groups, and we're part of a support group that we're here for each other and for everyone who's newly diagnosed or going through this, unfortunately, a second, third time. That's what we're here for. And we'll guide you and carry you every step of the way as best as we can. Yeah, that's what we do. Yes.
Thank you. That's
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're
This is such an honor.
welcome. Thank you so much for having me. Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.